Immortal Food. In Buddhist culture, where you're supposed to only eat vegetarian meals, so that means that you can live longer. 3 immortal foods. Food of the god of Lawhorn. Soft immortal food, and then hard immortal food. Hello! So, I realized that in my last video, I only did dishes that had meat in them. So, going to pay my respects to all of the living creatures that died for my meal by making some immortal foods, aka vegetarian dishes. Even made a spreadsheet to identify which ingredients all of the recipes have in common, so I don't overshop at the grocery store. Here it is. Food of the god of Lawhorn has the most variety of ingredients, and then it's soft immortal food and hard immortal food. What they all have in common is a tofu base or bean cake base. Food of the god of Lawhorn also has bean sticks. I thought that it was like some sort of bad translation. Looked up bean sticks, still called bean sticks, and sometimes they go by beancurd sticks. And what I noticed is that there's no standardization between measurements of bean stick. Food of the god of Lawhorn is a few pieces of bean stick, but soft immortal food says a few bean sticks. Size matters, I suppose. 2 cups of white nuts. Gotta have my white nut. Look those up too. They are also known as gingko nuts. The absolute labyrinthian nature of Chinese grocery markets, nothing is labeled except for the prices. The same products in multiple locations of the store, and I don't speak Cantonese, so asking for help, weird, irrational belief, oh, like in a Chinese supermarket, you should just know what you're gonna get, but honestly, it's like totally fine if you're just wandering around and exploring like I am. I circled around so many times. I was treating it kind of like a detective journey of mine, the gingko nuts. I thought for some reason that gingko nuts were canned, and I was in the can section aisle just circling constantly. Couldn't find it at all. Cool Sherlock Holmes.
Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains, no matter how improbable, must be.
This place has to have gingko nuts because it is super traditional, so it doesn't make sense as to why they wouldn't have any gingko nuts.
Once you eliminate the impossible,
all of the can section, could not find them anywhere.
No matter how improbable, must be.
I had walked past the produce aisle originally to pick up my winter melon, to pick up those bamboo shoots and the tofu, and I was like, okay, I feel like I would have noticed if gingko nuts were there, but let's give it another shot. And you know what? Your girl got it.
No matter how improbable, must be the truth.
Found these gingko nuts in like a regular produce tub. It just 2 cups of dried mushrooms. Those are commonly shiitake mushrooms. Then we go into the differences of all of the recipes. Food of the god of Lawhorn. It's usually called Buddha's delight. Guess they didn't have that translation back then, but food of the god of Lawhorn sounds super badass. I'm cool with it. Includes an additional 2 cups of fungus. There's a very wide variety of funguses out there, both edible and not. I guess technically they're edible once. Woodier mushrooms. Straight up the characters are just wood and ear. 2 cups of bamboo shoots. This time around, they had a tub of fresh bamboo shoots out in the produce section. I said that I wasn't able to source fresh bamboo shoots. Well, I thought your girl got them. For soft immortal food, there's the addition of Chinese vermicelli or the thin glass noodles. Hard immortal food. It has East melon in it. It's more commonly known as winter melon. I have actually never seen a winter melon getting prepared. I've only ever seen the end result in soups. I had no clue that they were fuzzy. Do you see that? Do you see that? maybe I just bought a big ass kiwi. An interesting thing is the fact that winter melon or East melon in the Chinese cookbook also written as East melon, like dong. But the thing is, dong is also the pronunciation of winter. Those characters aren't interchangeable. That doesn't make sense to me. And I don't know if it was just like a typo because it's most commonly written as dong winter, donggua. But in this book, for some reason, they put dong like east. For both soft Immortal Food and hard Immortal Food, it also requires a little bit of Chinese red cheese. For some reason, it's just not in the ingredients list. I am currently soaking all of the dried stuff. I'm probably just going to make small portions of all 3 of the dishes, so we'll see. This is our Immortal Food haul. I wasn't sure which types of tofu to use. Multi-use tofu for the hard Immortal Food and the soft for soft Immortal Food. That sounds thematically right. These are the dried mushrooms that have been rehydrated. They used to look like this. How the woodier mushrooms used to look like. Absolutely huge. A massive portion of the bag. Got our winter melon, our fresh bamboo shoots, our red cheese, the vermicelli that I rehydrated, how the vermicelli looks like dried, and the ginkgo nuts. Let's get chopping using my bad boy cleaver. That's a failure. Okay. Could not do that with the cleaver. Not talented enough, and also I think that this cleaver is kind of dull. So anyway, use a veggie peeler, which is so much easier. Who needs it? These crazy cleaver skills, bruh. Don't want that skin, baby. One is clean. Let's do the next one. And I'll actually shave it over the bag this time. Alright, finished peeling them. Now I am going to quarter and get rid of the core. You want to get rid of the seeds. It's not a good flavor and not a good texture. Oh, small little choppy boys. Bring the other boys to the chopping block. I need to sharpen this cleaver. Maybe I'll go get a whetstone. They look like little gnomes. Ooh. Ooh, she juicy. They got that juice. And I think I'm gonna chop up the mushrooms and fungus as well, because they're pretty large. Our beautiful bundle. I've always wanted to do mushroom foraging. Hopefully when all of this is over. You're supposed to cut the stems off because they're not good for eating, but if you want to, you can reserve them for stock. You can actually use the water that the mushrooms were soaked in as a vegetable stock as well. Had a total brain fart moment and I did not save the water. Make sure to do that because you know how mushrooms are. Full of umami. Like, how hard is it to rip off this? No. That one needed a little bit of an encouraging. Chop these into more bite-sized pieces. This looks like a little beret. I'm a fashionista. Oh. You know, they're not actually that hard to chop either, so happy about that. Ah! I say as the stack topples. I'm just like fixated on how these rehydrated. Look how beautiful this woodier mushroom is. Hello? Yeah, it matches my shirt. Now we're ready to cook. We got our 2 pans going. I think I'm gonna use this for God of Lawhorn and this one for the hard, one for the soft one. Winter melon and the ginkgo nuts here. Yo, this red cheese. Choo choo. All aboard the blood train. Got the blood sacrifice for the soft Immortal Food. Good night. Added everything else into the Buddha bowl. Very SF of me. And it says to add the mushrooms later, but I don't know. Fungus, mushrooms, We're supposed to let them all boil for like 1 hour, but I don't know if I should boil them for that long. I'll check in later. Well, came out and this is happening, so woo! Okay, I turned down the flame on this boy. Hopefully that will help. Might be because I added the mushrooms in there as well. Gonna put them in there so they get tender. I'm surprised that this one's not overflowing yet, to be honest. Ooh, that's hot. Oh, that's hot. Oh, kind of burned the hard food a little bit, but we're gonna be adding the Chinese gravy to this. I kind of burned the bottom of this as well, but here's the rest of the soft Immortal Food and just bubbling the rest of the hard Immortal Food. Here is our food of the God of Lawhorn, soft Immortal Food, and our hard Immortal Food. Let's give it a shot. Once again, they all kind of look like the same color. I actually like that. Wasn't asked for, but for vegetarian dishes, I do like to add MSG. Highly recommend. There's nothing wrong with MSG. It's just salt and that additional molecule. The food of the God of Lawhorn. The consistency of the woodier mushrooms is really good. Ginkgo nut. It'd be good with rice. Eating it by itself doesn't really make sense. Hard Immortal Food. I think I actually like the hard Immortal Food the best, even though I kind of burnt the bottom of these dishes. These are smaller portions, but they ended up turning out really great anyway. Would highly recommend. It takes about like an hour or so for a large portion like this to boil. You just want to keep an eye out on it so you don't burn the bottom like I did. I also realized that the firmness of my tofus didn't make any sense. I, for some reason, thought the soft tofu would be softer than the multi-purpose tofu, but it was the other way around. I am planning on doing a dessert round next video. Thanks!